With the amount of Batman figures that we get every single year from Mcfarlane Toys, there's always a couple of releases that turn out to be solid figures. And the figure that we're looking at today, although a bit older, in my opinion, is a good example of a good Batman figure. And let's talk about this figure today. Now, as usual, let's start off by taking a quick look at the data profile card that is included to find out who this Batman variant is. And as you can see, there is this nice action figure photography for the photo of the data profile card. And I really love this period of the data profile cards when they were using figure photography for most of it, which is pretty cool. And of course, this is the Batman of Earth -22 infected from the Dark Knight's Metal comics. His real name is Bruce Wayne, and it reads, "Born from the nightmares of the dark multiverse, the Batman of Earth -22 started out much like the Batman we know. However, on Earth -22, he becomes infected when nanotoxins from the Joker's heart are released into Batman's bloodstream, causing the Dark Knight's perfect mind to merge with the warped psyche of the clown Prince of Crime. He soon transforms into his final form, the Batman who laughs, and become part of an attempt to plunge the entire multiverse into ultra-violence, chaos, and utter darkness." And that is a very good description on who this Batman variant is. And now let's talk about the accessories that are included with this figure. If you don't want to count the usual DC figure stand that is always included, then this figure only comes with one accessory, which of course is the oversized green color Batarang. And I like this color green. It's very bright. And if you're wondering if this figure glows in the dark because of this color green, it does not glow in the dark. However, there are two other repaints that came after, and one of them is a glow-in-the-dark version, and the other one is called the Nightmare Edition, which is a repaint of the same figure in the black and gold color. I don't have those two repaints because, honestly, this regular version is already good enough. And, yeah, I really like this oversized Batarang because it does capture that sort of Joker vibes, because if you ever seen Joker use weapons, he sometimes pulls out like these obnoxious looking weapons that are oversized. So I like the fact that this captures that a little bit. And now let's talk about the figure. I want to start off by saying one thing. This figure's design just hits a nostalgia for me. If you ever watch the 2005 animated Batman cartoon series, there was this one episode where Joker dresses up as Batman in a knockoff Batman costume, of course, because it doesn't even fit him from the looks of it, which is really funny. But he runs around causing havoc in Gotham City by spraying people with his laughing gas. And eventually, Batman gets hit by the laughing gas and he can't stop laughing, and he needs the antidote, which, Joker has the antidote. So the final confrontation is the two of them literally fighting for the antidote, right? Joker doesn't want him to have it. Batman needs it, and eventually Batman does get the antidote. But in this conflict, Penguin is caught up in the middle of it. So it's very funny to see like Joker in a Batman costume fighting Batman. It is like the most hilarious thing, but it was such a fun episode and it was so memorable for me that one of the reasons why I picked up this figure is because this is literally what it is. It's Joker in a Batman costume, and it works. So, yeah, I just want to bring that point up first. Now let's talk about this figure aesthetically. Let's start with the texturing that is present on this figure. I love it. I love the fact that, they added all this texture here because they could have easily just kept this all like a flat surface without any sort of texture. But the fact that they did really makes the costume look like a real costume. Especially this stomach area where you just see all these lines, which is really cool. And then I guess a little bit of some damage here, I think that's what it's supposed to be. And of course this bat logo in the middle being this big green color, which I do like. And it does have a little bit of some damage marks on it. I think that's supposed to be battle damage. And also the fact that it's sculpted, I like that too. Because, some of the figures that we've been getting lately nowadays, they're all just printed on, not even sculpted anymore, right? So, and then his belt area, I like the fact that the bat logo looks like that, right? And the pockets are just also very oversized pockets, as you can see. They are just in the same color yellow, and this is one of those cases where you could probably touch up the yellow and make it look a little bit better. But I like the fact that it goes all the way to the back, so you can see all these oversized pockets for his belt. Pretty cool. And down here by the legs, you do have his boots, which are painted in this black color, and there is some texturing down here as well. So yeah, this figure has a lot of details within some of the design of it, so it doesn't look boring, which I like. And then when you come to the arm here, he does have this sort of yellow strap on his gloves here that he's wearing. Now, interestingly enough, he doesn't have the usual sort of whatever those things are called that Batman always has on his arm gauntlets. He doesn't have that, which is interesting. So yeah. And before I talk about the cape, let's talk about the head sculpt. That is a very good looking head sculpt for a Batman, Joker, whatever you want to call this. It's good, right? Like, look at the face. He's grinning at you. His teeth are visible. He got those big white eyes. Like, it's good. I like this. So, the only thing I don't like is the fact that he only comes with one accessory. And this is like that one figure where he would have benefited from like alternate hands that you can swap. Because I would have liked another one of these hands, for example. Or like a grabbing hand or something, So, yeah, that's the only downside, is that he doesn't come with interchangeable hands. But good head sculpt. Now let's talk about that cape. The inside of it I really love because it's like this nice green color. You do have some damages here, right? Like these holes. And the back of the cape is, of course, the same black color that is on the boots. But look at how textured that is. It is a soft plastic cape because this was before they started using cloth capes. But the way this came out, I like it. It's really good. The texturing here is really nice to see. So the overall aesthetics of this figure is just great. I don't know what else to say about it. And also, the figure mold itself, I believe, is a new figure mold at the time that this figure came out. Like, it's not a reuse of an existing figure mold. It is a original figure mold sculpted for this particular Batman. Because I don't remember any other figure using this figure mold. So, yeah. In terms of, like, just getting the design of this Batman from the source material, they did good, and I can't say anything else about it. Now, when it comes to articulation, though, that is where this figure has its flaws, because it's not great when it comes to articulation. In terms of sculpt, it's good. Articulation, yeah, it's the usual Mcfarlane articulation where it's going to have its problems. So, let's start with the arms. The arms can go out into a T-pose if you want to. It can't go forward. It can't really go back because the cape is going to hinder it. And it can't go all the way up because the shoulder here is also hindered by the cape. This arm does have, double jointed, which is really good. A really good double joint, by the way. There is a upper bicep swivel here as well. There is swivel in the hands. There is articulation in the wrist, and there's also a swivel with the wrist joint, as you can see. Well, I'm actually covering it, but, it's there, right? So, usual articulation for the arms. As for his head sculpt, he can look up, and it's not too bad. He can look down, really good. He can turn his head side to side. He can tilt his head side to side. So, articulation in the neck area is actually not bad for this figure. In terms of his torso up here, there is movement. It is very tight, though, because it just seems like they didn't really carve out enough room for it to move too much. He can't lean back, which is really strange because most of the time they can lean back. He can't lean forward either. So in this case, torso articulation is just not great. As for his waist down here, there is movement, but surprisingly, it's really freaking tight. And for a figure that I've had for I would say 2 years now, it still feels like a new figure, right? Like, the articulation is still very tight. So that's kind of interesting. So yeah, but there is movement in the waist, as you can see. So if you do have a copy of this figure and it is tight, use a hairdryer, use hot water, you can loosen all that. As for his leg articulation, you're not really going to get him to do like a full split or almost a full split, because the pouches here do hinder the articulation of his leg spreading out. But that is still better of a spread out than a certain other figure that I looked at. I would say back in February, if I remember correctly, Mr. Bloom, for example, did not have any pouches to hinder his legs from spreading out, and his legs can't even spread out. It's really strange. As for kicking out, that's as far as it goes. So, yeah, that's not good. But, I don't think you're going to make this Batman do any sort of kicks, unless you want to, which you could probably modify this piece down here, the waist area, and you could probably make the kick even better. He does have double jointed articulation in the legs, but it's really freaking tight on this one. Let me see if the other leg... Oh, the other leg works. There we go. So he does have that, as you can see. He does have articulation in the feet as usual. There is a swivel, and there is toe articulation. And that is basically all the articulation on this figure. His upper thigh swivels, they do not move. They are like literally frozen. So, not good. Okay. Now, let's do some comparisons with two other figures for today. And of course, those two other figures, you probably know what they are. So, let me get them into a pose. Let me get them in the stand. Here we go. Let me put them right here. Okay. Do not fall over. There we go. He's not going to fall over. Let's bring in, of course, the costume that we are all familiar when it comes to the Batman Who Laughs. And this, of course, is the original version that came out in year one of Mcfarlane DC Multiverse. And he's not going to fall, right? There we go. And as you can see, they are very different in design. And one of them feels taller than the other one. And it would be cool if there was like a 2.0 version of this figure. Which, the other one that I have is, you could call it a 2.0 if you want to. But it's not from the DC Multiverse line. It's from the Mcfarlane Mortal Kombat line. And I'm going to bring that in as well very soon. But as you can see, there's a very different design here with the costumes. He starts off with the bat suit, and then eventually he changes into this, iconic costume that this Batman is known for, with the weird thing that he's wearing over his eyes, and of course the big grinning smile, as you can see. So really cool to have both these versions side by side and on my shelf, because, for a wacky Batman, it's a pretty cool Batman figure. So there's this one. And here he is. Oh, I dropped the other one. Oh, that's not good. Okay, here he is next to the Noob Saibot skin from Mortal Kombat 11, where he is wearing the Batman Who Laughs costume. And the reason why I say that this could be considered a 2.0 of some kind is because they've never made an updated version of the original Batman Who Laughs figure until this one came out. And honestly, to me, you could technically call it a 2.0. The face sculpt is a lot better. The blood on his mouth is painted better. His teeth is painted better in general. So, you could say that it is a 2.0. Yeah, there's some giveaways on this costume where you can tell that it's not the Batman Who Laughs. It's Noob Saibot. But, hey, depends on how you want to use this figure. For me, I think this is a good proxy for a 2.0. And that is a comparison with this other version. And that is going to be our look at this Batman Who Laughs figure. And yeah, I honestly like how this figure came out. I think this was a good Batman figure at the time it released. And if you never picked one up, I think you still can on Amazon or on some of the other sites. I think it's still available. Maybe you could check, but it is a good Batman to have in the collection, in my opinion. And with that said, if you found today's review informative, do give this video a like. If you want to subscribe to the channel for more action figure content and whatever else I do on here, you can. You don't have to. In the end of the day, I make these videos for fun. And with that said, take care, and I will see you in the next video.